is only war.
What is up, gents? 40k dirtbags. I'm super excited because I actually found a tier list website. Now, this has probably been around for a long time, but it gives me so many more ideas of just videos to make for you guys. So kind of get my perspective on where I'd be ranking specific units for specific armies. We're probably going to be doing this for every single army that I play currently. So I just wanted to make a video for you guys before I head out to my honeymoon. By the time you're watching this, I'm probably already overseas in Europe or Italy or Greece or wherever it is over there that we are going. But thanks for clicking on the video. If you guys are new to the channel, we got ranked #1 Grey Knight player last year for ITC rankings. So my first video, I thought I'd do the tier list for the current Grey Knights in the current meta. Right now, it is October 25th. So from the time that I'm making this video, this is where we are currently at on what I've been running and what I've been seeing do good in our current meta. So if you guys are new to the channel and you guys want to support the channel like this, head over to Patreon. We list all these videos for free. Not free, but like you support the channel, you get first access to these videos weeks before they get released onto YouTube, as well as you get to just have more content like this come out for you guys because you give suggestions. You have your own Patreon tab on the Discord. If you guys are new, head over to the Discord, and we just kind of talk shit all the time on our Patreon chat. So let's get into the video. I got a whole thing pulled up for you guys right here. Try to make it as simple as possible for you. This is just going to be a short, fun video, just to kind of see where we rank everything. Now, this is just my interpretation. I'm super small in this tiny ass corner over here. So this is my interpretation on what I think could be good in the current meta and kind of where I would rank them. Now, between S and A is a huge difference. S, I would say, is like you should have this in every single list. A is it's a very good specific unit. B is like its interpretation. It could be good, it could be shitty. C is like probably lower my list that are super fun lists that I might try. And D, I probably would never run this in 10th edition, honestly. And again, there's some units that I 100% would never run this, but you guys might because you like the lore, you like the look of it, whatever it may be. So we'll start right at the top. I have here a Terminator. Now, the Terminator is, let me see if I can move this up. Yep, so Terminator is a unit that you could basically put with any character and it'd be good. Now, if you bring in Drago, which let's just fucking start with Drago because he's #1 anyway. The Grandmaster, Supreme Grandmaster of Grandmaster Grey Knights should be a lot better than he is right now. But since I've been running him 10th edition since Nova, he's put out so much for me that 100% I think he should be in every single list. Like Drago right now is S tier, getting us secondaries, killing demons, scoring primary because you're stealing objectives off your opponent. Like he is just the best of the best that we have currently, and he's not even the best data sheet. Like he should be so much fucking better than he is right now, but you can't do anything about it. It is what it is. He did get a huge point reduction. So he should honestly be in every single list. Just the extra 3-inch charges and the anti-demon 2+. He's there to kill Forge Fiends and the top meta demons like Eldar and Forge Fiends and Obliterators and Avatar and all those crazy shits. So Drago, we're starting off right there. Libby, I think, should be in the B tier or A tier. A tier, B tier. I think the Libby is good in A tier if you bring him with a Terminator squad. If he's by himself, he's in a B tier. That's completely up to you on which you want to go with it, whether it be I just don't like solo Libbies. I've rolled so many ones where they just kind of kill themselves because they don't get a 4-up mortal wound save, but they are really good at doing what they do. They can do actions and still do Vortex of Doom. They can advance and do Vortex of Doom. They can fall back and do Vortex of Doom. So Vortex of Doom from 18 inches away, getting around Lone Operative, it is what makes him that A tier. Any way that you can get around Lone Operative just by killing units or finishing off something that is super far away, he's going to be in that A tier status. So again, I would put him with Terminators in the A tier. If you want to kind of run, triple Librarian, make sure they have triple Terminators as well. But he's going to be in the A tier because he's still very good for what he does. And he's got precision on his damage 3 gun, which is pretty fucking cool. We have another one. Let's go Grandmaster Valdis. So I think Voltus is situational. I would rather bring a regular Grandmaster than Voltus. Voltus does have -1 to hit 2 units. So if I'm going to run Voltus, he's going to be with a 10-man Paladin brick. So that way you get the -1 to hit and -1 to wound on anything strength 6 or above. So with Voltus, he does a little bit extra mortal wounds in combat. But again, you have to be in combat. So usually you just kind of want to be teleporting all over the table. Once you get in combat, you have to kill what you charged or got charged, or they're kind of just stuck in combat for the rest of the game. When they get tied up, they can't fall back and miss. They can't miss when you're in combat. Like they're just stuck there. So Voltus is very situational. I wouldn't be bringing him unless it's something I want to test out. I know he could be good, but there's other units that I think would be better for him. So I'm going to put Voltus in the B tier. Let's go into Stern. Stern, I think, is, again, situational. I'm going to put him in a C tier because I haven't run him all edition. I just don't think he's going to be in every single list that you guys see. The only thing that he does, honestly, is he comes back up, I believe, on a 2+. I'm about to pull up his data card for you right here. So with Brother Captain Stern, his ability is he gets additional mortal wound on 6s with critical wounds. So if you have any way to get rerolls, which is like the Venerable Dread, and you're in combat, you can then do potential, 2 from the devastating wound strat and then +1 on top of that, so potentially 3 devastating wounds. It's okay, cool. Well, we don't have any fucking rerolls, so it's not going to be huge. And then on the first time this model is destroyed, roll d6 on a 2+, he gets back up. Maybe he'd be good as a character. First time this model is destroyed at the end of the phase on 2+, gets back up on a battlefield. And how many points is he? He's 90 points. So 90 points to have a solo character that can get back up on a 2+. That's actually not that bad. Thinking about it now, like we already have so many units that are really good at secondaries. Having a solo character that has a 2-up, 4-up, 6 wounds, toughness 5, and that's basically it. Nothing crazy with it's just a Nemesis Force weapon, but the only benefit is he gets back up on a 2+. I'm actually going to test him out. I'm going to put him in the B tier. So he's, again, very situational. If you got an extra 90 points, instead of bringing like an assassin or somebody like that, you can bring in Stern for the extra 2+, get back up. So that way, if he dies in the shooting phase, and he's super far away, he can just get back up, and then now he can be teleport assaulted somewhere else. First time's monster at the end of the phase. Yep, so end of the phase. So facing Tau, deep strike him in. Don't care that he dies in the shooting phase because he's probably not going to get charged, and then gets back up on a 2+. I'm going to put him in there as a B tier. So I'm surprised at myself for that. I think Crow, if you combine him with the purifiers, 100% A tier. I think having the extra shot coming in with Purify Flame is just fucking insane. Anti-infantry 2+, ignoring cover, AP 1. That stat right there is something that Grey Knights is missing out on, is the ignoring cover, the AP 1, because most of our shit is AP 1, in combat it's AP 2, so most of the time they're going to get cover. Having an anti-infantry unit that's specifically there to ignore cover and an anti-infantry 2+, Crow just gives him an extra shot across the board. If you bring a 10-man, that's 20 extra shots, plus he has 4 himself. So it's 24 anti-infantry 2+, 18-inch range, AP1 ignoring cover shots. That is huge. That is awesome. And he's a beast. So him in combat has precision. It's not psychic as well, so he can't be the 4-up invuln save against psychic like a lot of people have psychic defense. His weapon is not psychic. It's devastating wounds as well, and he's got built-in precision because he's basically a Brotherhood champion. So where's his melee? His melee is precision, devastating wounds, 5 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 6, AP 2, 2 damage. So just having the free precision, and if it gets down to just him, he can actually ignore 1 failed damage save. So first time a saving throw is failed, not just, it's after the saving throw. First time a saving throw is failed, damage characteristic is turned to 0. So you kind of can slow roll it, whatever you got to do, and then once you get a big shot coming in, you can roll it, see if he fails it, and then he just, all right, now it's damage 0. That's once per turn as well. So that's a huge bonus. So I think Crow, if you're going to run the purifiers, he's 100% should be an A tier. He's in almost every single list I have just because it's cheaper now. He got reduction in points, same with the purifiers. And that 10-man plus him deep striking all over the place, coming within 3 inches and just blah all over the opponent is very, very scary. Like, also, I didn't add in that they get +1 to hit, +1 to wound once one of them dies. So +1 to wound once half of them are dead is just stupid good into tanks. They actually tied up 3 or 4 Chaos Knights and Nova and just kept doing so much damage to them because of the +1 to wound. And 2 damage, wounding on 5s, 4s in combat against vehicles is awesome. 2 damage. So he 100% should be in the A tier. Then we have the Brotherhood Captain. I think he should be in the A tier. There's a specific list. There's one list that I run the Brotherhood Captain with, and it's with the Purgation squads with the Dread. With the Dread and 10 Paladins with the Brotherhood Captain, they get exploding 6s, but they hit on 2s. Exploding 6s reroll 1s within 6 inches of the Venerable Dread. So if he's leading a unit of 10 Paladins, they all hit on 2s with 6 fucking side cannons, 3 shots each. That's 18 shots hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. And exploding 6s. That's just a ton of side cannon shots coming in. If you don't have the Venerable Dread in the list and it's just him, we have no rerolls. So on 18 dice, rolling maybe 2 or 3 6s and having 2 or 3 1s, it's going to cancel out either way. So it's not a huge benefit of the Brotherhood Captain going into the list unless you're running specifically a Venerable Dread. His other ability is each time this model makes an attack with a psychic weapon, which is his melee and shooting, you can reroll the wound roll. So basically gets full rerolls to wound himself. That's actually a pretty good bonus. Again, it's very situational. I only run this guy if I have rerolls with the Venerable Dread, because him with the same point cost as the next thing, which is, let's just say this guy is the Grand Master. The Grand Master is so much better in almost every way. The reason is instead of getting the exploding 6s, he actually gives you ignore all modifiers. So you're basically ignoring -1 to hit, -1 to wound, half damage, -1 damage. Any of those abilities that negate or change our dice rolls, that's what you're ignoring. And that is huge when it comes to getting the damage that we have, because we only have 2 damage weapons and AP1. So if there's any negatives out there, he's going to be able to ignore that for your whole 10-man Paladin brick. So the 10-man Paladin brick is basically just going to be your main damage dealer and your biggest tank. That he's cheaper now as well. So him with Paladins, with Sigil, I mean, you can put Sigil on the Brotherhood Captain as well, but with Sigil is what makes him stand out above Voldus and Stern and the Brotherhood Captain, because once your Terminator or Paladins get shot at, you can then put them in a very aggressive position on the other side of the table that you really want to take over that side of the table. And it stops people from wanting to shoot at him because of that situation. Teleport Assault is one thing, but being able to Sigil just across the table with a whole 10-man Paladin brick is just insane. So besides the -1 or ignoring all the modifiers, he also lets you do a free strat. Our free strat still is the Devastating Wounds, which is mainly what we used it for anyway. Sometimes you did the counter charge, but we can't do that anymore. So most of the time it's going to be the free Devastating Wounds. So him charging in, getting a free 2 CP strat once per game is what puts him in that A tier bracket. So that's why he's always going to be an A tier. He's in almost every list that I have currently, but again, him for I think 5 points more than the Brotherhood Captain also is what makes him stand out over the Brotherhood Captain. Just 5 point difference. I'm going to bring the ignore modifiers and the free 2 CP strat once per game, which is bullshit. All right, let's get into the next thing. We have our Grand Master Nemesis Dread Knight, which I'm going to put in the C tier. So he was good. I mean, I'm not going to say he was good. He was okay when it came to spending 1 CP less, so that way he was basically never shot at outside of 12 inches, because we can do the 2 CP strat for 1 CP on himself. But now that you can't do that and you can only do the Devastating Wounds for 1 CP, that's kind of a pointless ability. Plus he can't advance and charge. He does have another ability, which is reroll hits, wounds, and damage, but he hits on fucking 4s. Like he's such a letdown this edition. It's very sad, because I used to run him all the time in 9th edition, and him with the hammer, 5 attacks, hitting on 4, so you're going to miss probably 2 of them. Even 3 of them, you get to reroll, but you're still going to miss 1 or 2 of them, and then you wound on 3s, full reroll, and the full rerolls are only against vehicles. So you're going to hit on 4s, full rerolls, and then wound on 3s most of the time, full rerolls, and then damage. It's sad. I actually charged him and another Dread Knight into a vehicle twice in 2 different games and failed to kill the vehicle. So from then, he is going to be in the C because, again, some people like him. So some people, to me, 100% not worth it. I would never run this guy ever again in 10th edition. I did 6 dreads. That video is coming out soon. But yeah, and then let's just go right into the next dread. I'm going to put the dread in the same thing. Some people use one of these guys for specific tank shock. I actually tank shocked in my last game. I rolled 16 dice or something, and I rolled 1-5. So that was just me rolling like shit. So you should do at least like maybe 3 mortal wounds going into a tank shock and then charging in. But still, same thing. You have to combat this guy with a tech priest, but then the tech priest just gets left in the dust because it's only the command phase that you get to buff it, heal it, and get lone op if you're within 3 inches of a vehicle. So I see its advantages by advancing and charging and then doing a tank shock. Maybe rapid ingressing one of these guys to come down and be in something. That would be one thing that I would suggest, is maybe rapid ingressing one of these 2 guys to get into the fray and do something. But they're not as tanky as they used to. So I'm going to get a ton of hate comments about these Dread Knights. They would be for me D tier. But for you guys, again, if you like them, I would run one of them and do them specifically for rapid ingress, because they're probably going to get shot off the table, especially with so many Space Marines and Meltas and being full rerolls to hit and wounds and damage against vehicles. If I don't have a vehicle on my list, I actually don't lose out on bring it down. So it's a benefit to Grey Knights if you don't bring any Dread Knights, because once that Dread Knight is dead, you just gave him fucking 5 points or 4 points, whatever it is. So yeah, those are my Dread Knights. I would put them in the D tier, but again, some of you guys might do them specifically for C tier. I'll do this. I'll do 1B, 1C, or 1C, 1D. How about that? Let's go Terminators. Terminators, 100% S tier. Being able to bring a guy back. Now the question is, are you able to bring it back in Deep Strike or in reserves? Because you're off the table, you're able to use abilities off of the table, and technically you can't not be in coherency off of the table, or your entire unit would have died. So that's a question you have to ask your TO before playing in RTT or GT. That's the first question I would ask if I'm a Grey Knight player. Is I would send them the rules. I would send them using the abilities off the table. I would send them an example of Abaddon or anything, and then just saying, hey, can I bring a Terminator back in Teleport Assault or Deep Strike? Because if the answer is yes, do it. Like, it's fucking insane. But them being 2 up, 4 up, toughness 5, 3 wounds, being able to bring a guy back in the command phase, their OBSEC 3, their battle line, and they just give our HQs so much more oomph with stealing objectives, teleport assault, coming down within 3 inches, being 17 OBSEC on the point, and they give sustained hits on the charge. That's about it. I mean, nothing crazy. It's just they're cheap Terminator, teleport assaulting, Grey Knight people doing all this stuff. We don't have any hammers, which kind of sucks, but these guys are 100% S tier, because you can even combat them in S tier with Drago, and just that's your starting point. It's Drago and 5 Terminators, Libby 5 Terminators, Brotherhood Champion 5 Terminators, all that stuff. It's just Terminators are definitely 100% S tier and should be in every single list. At least one squad of Terminators with Drago in every list. So Terminators, if you're buying the list, 5 Terminators for Drago, 5 to 10. I would say Terminators and Paladins, they're basically the same thing. I don't know if I have a Paladin. Let's say this is a Paladin. Fuck, then I'm missing out on a guy. These are Paladins. So these are Paladins. Paladins, S tier. S tier because they're our tankiest unit in the game. The -1 to wound is huge with a 2 up, 4 up, toughness 5, 3 wound guy that can basically deliver any one of our characters. Combining him with the Grand Master, it's Sigil, 10 Terminators, the free 10 Paladins, free 2 CP devastating wound strat when you get into combat, and the additional side cannons and the banner. So they're 2 OPSEC on everybody, and they have 5 side cannons in the unit. I don't put flamers on paladins because they hit on 2s. So why waste the 2-up ballistic skill? And I would put side cannons on them. So basically, if you're going to be buying an army, I would go 5 to 20 Terminators. 10 of them could be paladins, or 10 of them could be Terminators, and then unit of 5 for Drago, unit of 5 for Libby, and then 10 paladins. So 20 Terminators I would be buying if I'm going to be buying a Grey Knight list. But yeah, 100% I think they're going to be S tier for this specific meta and the current Grey Knight list. I think 10 Terminators are not as good, but they're super tanky just because you're able to bring one guy back every single turn. If you're able to bring, like, let's say if you have 3 or 5 Terminator units and they all bring in one guy every turn, you basically just made 3 Terminators. Do that for 2-3 turns, you just made up 200-400 points of guys just from bringing people back. Paladins can't bring them back, but their tankiness and threat with their shooting and hitting 2s on in melee is what makes them so deadly in this specific meta. So then we forgot this guy who is our Chaplain. I'm going to put Chaplain in the B tier because he should be one to be added into a unit. There's a lot of armies that can bring 2 characters in one unit. If he was that type, he would be A tier. He might even be S tier. But since he can't do that, you have to fight him with every other HQ that we have, which is the Libby, Drago, Crow, Grandmaster, and just the +1 to wound only works on in melee. And we don't really want to get into melee unless we're 100% going to kill what we're doing. And in that point, we don't really need the +1 to wound because we already know we're going to kill it. So that's why I use B tier. It's very situational. If you want to put him in a 10 or 5-man Terminator unit just to be first to the fray, or +1 to charges for the enhancement, I think that could be good to test him out. And I think he's cheap. I think he's like 70 points or something, just to kind of be added into a Terminator unit and just go after stealing points, stealing primary, sitting on objective, waiting for somebody to come at you. That would be my reasoning for bringing a Chaplain. If I had the extra points, there's other units I would be bringing. I wouldn't be bringing a Chaplain. I would rather be bringing another Librarian, or probably an Assassin with... probably an Assassin, honestly, or 2 Henchman squads instead of bringing a Chaplain. That would be my mindset of the Chaplain. So then we got Brotherhood Champion, which is also going to be a B tier. Why I didn't put him in A tier is, yes, he does have Fight First, but he's only going to be paired with Strikes, and Strikes lose the Scout move because he doesn't have Scout. So since he doesn't have Scout, Strikes lose the Scout move, which is one of their huge advantages of actually being on the table. So the Brotherhood Champion is situational. If I have a 10-man squad of Strikes and I really want to be annoying, I might put Sigil on my Brotherhood Champion, so that way they can kind of be teleported, assaulted, and just block out like a deployment zone, or block out a tank, so that way they can't get out and then you just missed away. Or if they get shot at, you just Sigil away and kind of you fight first on a 10-man unit. So that would be my mindset if I bring a Brotherhood Champion, is I would be bringing 10 Strikes to be annoying, sticky, Sigil, missed, and fight first. So that would be a Brotherhood Champion. He's an awesome model. There's a lot of customization you can put on this guy. Like, you can make any one of your Strikes customizable to be a Brotherhood Champion, or kit bass some Space Marine champions and put Grey Knight bits on him to make him look even cooler. I have 2 really cool Brotherhood Champion models that I just haven't really used that much this edition, but he would be in the B tier for Grey Knights. Then let's get into our Strike Squad, 100% S tier. This is one of the best troop units in the game. They did reduce the points of them. So the Strike Squads went down to 125 points. They went down 10 points. I think they were 135 in the beginning of 10th. But they have sticky objectives, which against a teleport assaulting, deep strike, in your face, all over the table army, having a sticky objective is insane. So you basically may always make your home field objective sticky on turn 1. You can even make the center sticky, or if you have corner deployments, you can make 2 of your objectives sticky. It's a very good situational unit. They're troops, so the 2 OBSEC. They have teleport assault. They can do all the stratagems. They are 2-up save now. Like, we have a battle line unit that can teleport assault, have sticky objective, scout 6, and have a 2-up save with the opportunity to have a 1 CP for ignoring armor contempt, basically. That is a really tanky troop unit for 125 points. And obviously they're really good in combat. Strength 6, AP 2 damage. If they have to, do something or get charged with somebody, they're fucking awesome for 125 points. So they are 100% going to be in the S tier because they're in every single list, minimum 5. If you want to bring Brother Champion as well, you can do that. But I always have at least 5 in every single list. So they're 100% in S tier category. We have our interceptors. I think interceptors, since playing them, is going to be in the A tier. They have a lot of benefit with the stratagems that we have in Grey Knights. They're a 2-up save, movement 12, 2-up save, speed 12 models that can get into places to do secondaries and can move, shoot, and move again. So these guys having a teleport assault ability can come down outside 9 inches, shoot something, and then move 6, which basically gets you almost within 3 inches onto an objective to either steal primary, steal an objective, or do it a secondary action. So, a secondary basically is like if you steal an objective for points, you can do that. So they're really good and mobile, especially in Grey Knights. So again, same thing as the strikes where they have a 2-up save. They have access to the armor contempt. They have an access to advance auto 6. So they move 18 and then can shoot and then still move 6 after that for 1 CP. That's just insane. I try and put them in at least a 5-man squad in every list. They're only 135 points now, so they're actually cheaper than what they used to be. So they're just really good. If you haven't used them yet, once you use them, you'll fall in love with them. Putting 2 of them in a Land Raider and just hopping out, doing something, hopping back in, getting into a transport in a different phase also is what makes them stand out. You can actually do the Rhino trick where if you have 2 units or 1 10-man unit, you can basically hop out, shoot, hop back in, and then the Rhino can shoot the side cannons that as if it was equipped with the side cannons. So if you have 2 5-man units, they basically hop out, shoot their side cannons, hop back in, and then you have open top 2. So the Rhino can shoot 2 side cannons out of the open top as well. So it's basically 4 side cannon shots for the price of 2. So there you go. That's a little trick that you can do with the interceptors. So yeah, I think they're really good for their points. 100%. I think they should be an A tier. They're really good at secondaries. They do what Grey Knights want to do, and most of the stratagems work on this unit right here, especially getting secondaries on turn 1. So then what we got next? We got Tech Marine. Tech Marine is going to be C tier just because you have to combo it with the Dread Knight and the other Dread Knight. But if you bring a Land Raider, which we don't even have a Land Raider option down here, but if you bring a Land Raider, it's going to be almost 100% added the same time as a Land Raider is added. So I would actually put a Land Raider in the B category because it's a specific list that you're going to be running Land Raider with, but it's a lot of firepower, and bringing the Tech Marine, it got reduced in points, but it's still only speed 10, which I don't understand. It got reduced in points, and if you bring the Tech Priest, which are super cheap now, I think they're 65 points for a Tech Priest. A Tech Priest is 60 points, holy shit. So 60 points for Lone Op within 3 inches of the Land Raider, get to buff it and heal it in the same turn. It's just going to be an almost unkillable Land Raider because of cover, 2-up save, armor contempt, and cover. So you're ignoring almost everything AP 3 from it, and it's toughness 12. So that Land Raider is 100% should be B, if not A tier, but it's not going to be in every one of my lists. It's going to be in the B tier because it's situational. So situational, if you want to bring the Land Raider, bring the regular Land Raider, put 2 squads of interceptors in it, or just 1 squad just for secondary shenanigans. I actually have a game that I played the Land Raider with and did very well, but I had 2 Tech Marines with it. So Tech Marine in B with a Land Raider. That's going to be my combo. Other than that, you probably won't ever bring a Tech Marine because it doesn't really get any benefit from being there. I would rather bring Inquisitor Henchman or add like upgrades to my units or something like that. So then we got our Purifiers. Purifiers are going to be in the A tier. They have so many buffs to them. If you bring 4 flamers in a 10-man squad, you could bring 4 side cannons in a 10-man squad. They get +1 to wound if they start dying. So once they're at half strength, they start getting +1 to wound on their shooting and melee profiles. And pairing them with Crow, they're just insanely anti-infantry. So they have a strength 6 AP1 ignoring cover flamer, 4 of them. They have anti-infantry 2+ purify flame from 18 inches away, ignoring cover. And they get additional 1 pairing it with Crow. So if one of these guys die, which I almost tempt people to Overwatch with them, because if they just kill one of them, everything in the army, everything in this unit hits on 2s. So all the Purify Flames hit on 2s, all the Bolters hit on 2s, all the Flamers automatically hit, but they're just going everything into the anti-infantry and killing characters pretty easily. So this unit is insane. 2-up saves, again, for the whole army across the board, but the combo of Purify Flame, it's one of the only units that has a actual psychic attack, which back in the day, everybody used to have a psychic attack. So I think that was one of the missteps that Games Workshop did with these guys, is they're the only infantry that has a psychic attack. Everything should have had like a smite or something built in, but that took a lot of damage output away. So these guys are going to do most of our damage in most of our lists, especially a 10-man unit. I usually don't bring a 5-man unit. It's most of the time 10-man with Crow. If you do bring a 5-man, you don't need Crow. You just bring a 5-man unit, so that way you can bring 2 flamers. They come down, do actions, and can kill chaff pretty easily. So that and come within 3. Not if they're a Space Marine, you can't come within 12, but most of the time you can come within 3 and just flamer a bunch of shit. So they're going to be in the A tier for sure. And then finally we have these guys, which look like purifiers. So, oh, this is purgation. I apologize. Sorry, that's a purgation squad. So purgation squad is going to be C tier. So purifiers right here are going to be the A tier, and then purgation squad, this is where I'm not sure about. I've tried these guys multiple times. They got boosted up to 190 points for no fucking reason whatsoever. They have out of line sight shooting, but they still need somebody else to see that unit. So you're putting somebody else at risk to being shot or die, so that way these guys can shoot. They don't have +1 to hit. They're not heavy. They don't have really anything to kill tanks. They should be a tank killing unit, but it's literally just a regular side cannon, 3 shots, hitting on 4s because of out of line of sight, -1, not ignoring cover, and only 2 damage. This unit fucking sucks. So, specific list, if you bring these guys with a Dread, a Venerable Dread, and have 3 units of these guys with 10 Paladins with side cannons and 10 Purifiers, like that could be a list. I ran that a couple times. That's not bad, but basically you're just spamming these guys at that point. They got reduced point-wise. I think they went back to what they were prior. Purgation is 135 points now, so they got reduced in points from 190. Like, what? They should not have been 190 points, but they go down to 135 points, so you're fighting in the same point category as a strike. So I'd rather have a strike unit than these guys. So I think, again, the purgation is just, it's very situational. Only one specific list that I would run them in. I wouldn't really run, I'd rather bring strikes, honestly, than a purgation squad. Purgation squad just not going to kill shit. Only if you get a Space Marine unit that's not in cover, out in the open, and you can hit on 3s somehow. That's the only time you're going to be able to kill something with a purgation squad. You can bring 4 flamers and do it that way, potentially, but again, I'd rather just bring purifiers and just run them with the extra psychic attacks. So a couple options that were not in this list. We have servitors. Servitors would be in the D tier, so I would not be bringing servitors in any of my lists. They're OPSEC 0. We have the Land Raiders, which we already went over. The Venerable Dread is not in this list as well, but the Venerable Dread would probably be in the C tier. It doesn't have Teleport Assault. It can't Deep Strike, which is bullshit. So until it gets those, it's going to stay in the C tier for me. It does give benefits to infantry, but not vehicles. So the vehicles, it's kind of dumb. I don't know why it doesn't do that. Thunderhawk gunship, I think, should be in the A tier, but not everybody's going to be as crazy as me and run a Thunderhawk gunship. The other 2 gunships I can't really give insight to, but the Stormraven gunship I think would be in the B tier. It does have the -1 damage. It is still 265 points for all the weaponry it has. Now it's towering out of the way. Gunship could be very situational to drop off a bunch of units. So the B tier, I think the Stormraven gunship should be at. The Land Raider should be in the B tier. And those are really all the vehicles. The Rhinos and Razorbacks are also going to be in, the Razorback's going to be in the C tier. You do get full rerolls to wound if that land or Razorback shoots something, but you have to hit it, I believe. And then if something gets out, you can then get full rerolls to wound. So it's okay. I'm just not going to spend fucking 95 to 100 points on that. Like, I'd rather just hop around and do all that shit, and then it just dies in return. So I'm going to try and bring as little vehicles as possible in my Grey Knight list, if you haven't noticed. So that'll be in the C tier. B tier for the Rhino, if you want to combine it with the purifiers or the interceptors, so that way they can hop out, shoot, hop back in, and the Rhino with the open top can shoot as well. So that's a pretty good strategy. That's going to be in the B tier. So that is all of that, and obviously we would do Caldus Assassin in the S tier. Voidsman at Arms and Infantry would be in the A tier, because they should be in almost every single list for the extra points. Our cheapest unit is going to be Servitors, which we're not bringing. So our second cheapest point is going to be either a character or strikes for 125 points. So if we have anything less than 125 points, we're either going to bring an assassin or Voidsman at Arms or henchman. Henchman 2 wounds for some reason, so the henchmen aren't bad to block at the backfield and just come in from reserves. And also the Voidsman at Arms, 50 points, come in from reserves and just be 5 models to block out the backfield. So hopefully this is cool. If you guys like tier lists, leave it in the comments below, because this was super fun to just kind of give you my insight and tell you what I like and don't like about specific units. I'm going to try and do this for Chaos Space Marine. It's going to take a lot longer because there's so many more different units in Chaos Space Marines. But also, there's going to be Death Guard. And I think those are going to be the ones that we're going to start off. But let me know in the comments below what you liked, what you didn't like, how we can improve. Does the picture look good with how we did it? And then if you have any questions, head over to Discord. If you guys like this type of content, you want more of like this to come out, head over to Patreon, support the channel. You guys get first access to all these videos up on patreon.com, as well as you get to support the channel, so more videos like this come out more rapidly, and we could hire more dirtbags to be on the channel like Matt and Mike. So yeah, we're growing. Appreciate the 5,000 subscribers. You guys are fucking awesome. We're gonna hit 6,000 by the time we get back to the honeymoon, and wish me luck. We're diving in, boys. So let's go, dirtbags. Appreciate it. Good luck, and we'll see you in another video soon. What's up, gents? Welcome to the Dirtbag Nation Patreon page. If you guys are new, I appreciate you actually making it to this section of the website. This is going to be support to the Dirtbag Nation. Just to give you a little insight on what we're trying to do and trying to grow into, we're trying to grow a brand name of the Dirtbag Nation, 40k Dirtbags, going all over the country and coaching people to get better at the game of 40k. We have really good coaching over at the Dirtbag Nation. Myself is ranked #1 for Grey Knights in the world last year in 9th edition. This year we're currently ranked #1 Chaos Space Marine player in the world on ITC 40k rankings. So we have a lot of experience over at the channel, and a lot of the coaches are going to start joining in and joining the Dirtbag Nation to help you guys get better at 40k. If you guys are new to the Patreon page, we have a couple different tiers. The first tier is the $1 tier. That's basically just coming over, supporting us for $1 a month. You get first access to the Dirtbag videos up on Patreon. The next tier is a $5 tier. Basically, you get first access, as well as just have a little bit more branding with the Patreon Discord page. And you want to support us a little bit more than $1 a month. I really appreciate both you guys. The $10 tier is the competitive Dirtbag page. That's where we get more into the tactics, one-on-one coaching on the Discord. And if you guys have any questions, comments, list ideas, tactics, or game questions, you guys get to message us one-on-one through Discord. Make sure you take advantage of that, because it's completely up to you to ask me any questions you possibly need in the 40k community. Finally, we have the Grandmaster Dirtbag. That Dirtbag is above and beyond. They come out and they basically want us to coach them one-on-one with calls on via Discord, TTS games, battle reports, or any tactical videos that you guys want suggestions to. You guys will get first access to, and we actually play live games for you guys, or go over battle reports for our Grandmasters. Anything armies that you want to see specifically on the tabletop, that's the Grandmaster Dirtbag page. So it's just an explanation on what the different tiers are for Patreon. But again, thank you so much for the support. If you guys are thinking about it, you do have really good coaching. We drink beers, we have fun, we just kind of chill out and teach you guys how to have fun at 40k, unlike some other people on YouTube. But have fun at 40k, be good, win some games, more than you're averagely winning over there all over the world. And if you guys really just want to support the channel, we have our $1 and $5 a month as well. There's all the stickers and dice available to you guys at a discount, and you have your own Patreon tab in Discord that nobody else has access to besides you guys. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the support. We're gonna grow Dirtbag Nation as much as we possibly can in 2024, and get it all thanks to you guys. Appreciate it.